Alright, I've been slow on this project again. This last month I've been traveling a lot for work and personal. But I've kind of jumped back into it. I did kind of a bunch of stuff off camera just because it was just measuring, cutting, stuff that I've already shown. Now we're going to box in this side and this side. I've already gone and painted the inside just so it doesn't rust any more than it already has. I've trimmed both of these and ground down, kind of a V, and then actually ground into the back side of this weld. Same thing on this side. And I've cut out one plate because it was a lot of messing around, so that one fits on that side, so we're gonna go out and cut another one for that side. And yeah, hopefully get them tacked in tonight. And then I went on Send Cut Send and got these laser cut out, so this is the lower mount and it'll attach something like that. I haven't made upper mounts yet. I might buy them because I found some nice ones for a decent price. And I also made myself lower tabs that'll hook onto the axle, and I'll have to cut my own out for the upper. I don't know exactly what I'm gonna do. They have to mount on this diff, pig, whatever you want to call it. So we'll worry about that later. Trace this out. And just like that, I had grind some of my edges here, but it fits nicely. I got the other side to fit nicely as well. So I'm gonna go clean this up and paint the back side, so at least it's mostly painted in there. And then we'll tack it in place. Kind of scuffed up. Great. Almost out of primer. Alright. I only got a little bit of this left. I hope I make it. If not, I got a little bit of a flat black, so whatever. You know? Hopefully it doesn't weld like shit now, but it probably will. That was whining. Okay, here we go. Got that one in. Got that one in. Just tack them for now because you never know what's gonna happen later. Now next we'll probably get this in the right spot and between the frame rails, and then we'll start mocking this up, something like that. I don't know that it's going to actually go like that. It might actually fall down a little bit because the links have to be lower over here, so I'll have to make some sort of bracket that goes up there. Would be sweet if I could just do that though. I have to order another one of these from Send Cut. I just needed to make sure that my design actually worked, which it did, so I'll order another one of those. And then we have to figure out some upper tab brackets that will go around here, make us some custom brackets to go up there, tack those. That'll be tomorrow night. Alright, so I'm going to start cleaning the diff up, clean all this area, probably chop some of this off because I gotta have my link mounts up here, and I'm not going to be using this. I'll probably just cap this off, so I'll just, you know, chop this off here, chop that off here, and my link mounts will end up covering that. But I need some decent surface to weld to, so we'll just chop that ear off and chop that ear off, and I'll figure out a way to actually cover this. Continuing on the link, I'll clean up this pig, and then we're going to try and make some cardboard cutouts for the upper link that's going to go on top of the pig differential. whatever you want to call it. And kind of already started. I'm gonna go over it because I had to do a bunch of angles and a little bit of math and just kind of making it, and then testing it, testing it, a couple of different versions that I was thinking about doing. We'll go over what I did and I'll kind of show you how I did it. Don't listen to me for any of this. I kind of don't exactly know what I'm doing, but just kind of going off some stuff I made on the computer and had a buddy help me with where the links are gonna go. I hope this design kind of works. Definitely don't listen to me about suspension stuff. I just kind of looked up stuff on YouTube and got my angles and stuff from a buddy. It's actually a suspension engineer, so he knows what he's talking about, but I don't have any clue what's going on or what to do, so just kind of going off what I've seen, what people tell me. Should work, but let's see what happens. So we're gonna make a plate that goes on the top of this, not plate, but a mount that goes on the top of this pig. And there are a bunch of stuff on there, and I know from Jeeps, you get the whole like brace that goes across, and you can weld it to here and weld it to here, the truss. But I don't have that option because the bags are going to be here, and there's going to be bags right here taking up this whole tube space. So we're going to weld it, hopefully really well to this, and hopefully it holds. I can probably put some gussets on here to help and gusset it really well. And yeah, we're just going to start with cardboard because it's much easier doing cardboard cutouts and then testing it up there. So yeah, I already kind of drew on this a little bit. Basically my links are gonna be my links are gonna be 6 inches apart, so I already marked this, and 2 inches from a mark I made on that diff. So there's my 2 inches. Okay, just use a speed square to get our angles. So we want to be 30 degrees that way and 30 degrees that way. And we want the center of the link to be 2 inches from this line. So we'll just take this and mark a 30 degree line in here. So 30 degrees, mark it over here. Same thing on this side. Kind of a shitty line. That's okay. Okay, so we want it to be 2 inches wide. So let's just make sure we're on that line still. Two inches right there. That's going to be basically our link. And same thing on this side. Right there. Yeah. Okay, so take our speed square again, get 30 degrees on there. that up. Mark that up. Again on this side. .30 degrees. Alright, and what I did is I measured 1.5 inches up to here. Inch and a half up to here. This can kind of change if we need it to, but this just gives us some meat to work with here. Connect these points. Connect these points. Connect those. Oh, actually, we don't have to do that. Okay, so then we just cut this whole thing out on the outside of this, and that's basically gonna be our top plate that we're gonna use on this whole thing. And I already got one set up, so I'll show you. Just cut around the outside here, and that will give you this guy. So basically just cut out where we made our lines, and this is kind of giving you an image from the top view of where our link is going to be. Here's one of the things I cut out, so like this. So then I went over here and we measured from outside to outside on the axle, which gave us like 28 inches, which is the middle mark, so that's about right here, kind of almost where this hole is up here. And I just taped this together. I made it 3 inches high, and this is basically where it's gonna go, something like that. So then now from here you can kind of make some more cardboard cutouts of your support tabs or link tabs that are going to go down. I haven't done this side yet, but I already started on this side because I knew this side was going to be hard, and it's going to take me forever to do. I didn't do this on camera because it took me a long time. So here's our little cardboard cutout over here that's going to go all the way down to the base over here, you know, something like that. It's just cardboard, so we did the best we can. Just like so. And then I'll make another one for this side, and then we'll have two in the middle here. Those will be super easy, not worry about those. And then we'll go outside and cut them out, and we'll have to clean all this up, and hopefully we can get something tacked up today in here. It would be nice to have one of those tools. I don't know if you've seen those things on Amazon or, you know, ads or whatever, that goes along here and you can do like a outline tool, I think they're called. People use them for tile and stuff like that. That would be a very handy time to have that tool. I don't have one of those, unfortunately, so we just use cardboard and hope for the best. I'm gonna have this come down all the way to here, and we'll link up with that down there. Make a little bit longer one of these so we can make it go down there. this out. Hopefully it works. There we go. Now let's see if it fits in here. Okay. Something like that. That fits damn near perfect. Okay. I don't want to tape this up because I'm just going to untape it to go cut this out, but this is basically what it looks like from the inside, what it looks like from the outside, and then we made that piece down there for this side right here that goes up along this side, and then we can worry about the insides later because I don't know how I'm going to do that yet. Probably end up cutting this cardboard on that inside line and then just making them come down. I might end up covering this hole, which I don't think I need anyways. We'll figure it out. Alright, I gotta charge the GoPro for a little bit and I'll get everything set up to plasma cut. Hopefully I can cut 3/8. In the meantime, check this guy out that I just bought. It's a nice patina. Good old C10. I was trying to get this truck done for cruising the coast, but that's not gonna happen, so figured I'd go buy another truck and drive that and have something fun to do that week. Alright, set up to plasma cut. Gets cut in here. Alright, got this cut out, cleaned up nicely. We'll cut out the back side and then we'll start looking at the other ones. Alright, I just had to remake the back piece that goes back there. I forgot that this comes down and this is going to sit like this, so we just made a template out of cardboard again and just plasma cut it off and it fits pretty damn good. So should be able to tack those together, I think, and then starting to make this one over here and the left one over there. See how that goes. shitty tacks. Alright. Here we go. Look at that. Perfect. So now we gotta make something for this side. And balance it here. It's a little sketchy, but we have our card from earlier that we made. And it fits in there damn near perfect. So I think I'm gonna make one basically just like that. Alright, come back out after dinner and do the other side now. I just gotta do some minor trimming and it should fucking fit. We got that all ground down in there. Fits super nice. This thing kind of looks dorky, but hopefully by the end of it, it won't look so bad. As in bad, I mean just not professional. Wish it looked a little bit more professional, but I gotta order some more parts. Then we can tack that all together, make sure it's good, make our inside mounts, which I guess I could do right now, but it's getting kind of late, so I'm gonna wait on that. And then we can start tacking these mounts up, hopefully, and getting somewhere with this. So, all right, continue later on. All right, this afternoon, it's time to get these things buttoned up. I've been farting around with this for a while now. Kind of off camera. I messed up. I should have made this 1/4 inch. I made it 3/8 because that's all I had at the time, but I fixed it. I got some more 1/4 inch, and it actually fits better than the 3/8 anyways. So I cut out those with cardboard. I did it off camera because it took forever. And then last night I cut these out. I think I have to do a little more trimming on this one to get it fit in there better. But yeah, we're gonna tack all this up, get this fitting a little nicer, and then we'll weld this, clean this up and weld it down, and then we can start working on the inner and obviously this. Make sure the axle's center between the arches or the C-notch, and that it's center, you know, between the frame rails. I ordered some of these. I wanted something that was gonna have a little bit more give instead of just these, where are they at? Instead of just those hem joints. So I got some of those. We gotta cut these down, these DOM, and cut those ones down over there. So yeah, we got quite a bit of work, and let's get after it. Something like that. Keep it straight. Looks decent. Also gives me room for my sensor. So, to do. Okay. Alright, we got this piece all cleaned up. It's damn good in there. Kind of looks weird from the front, but it'll do what it needs to do. Oh, sorry. It'll do what it needs to do. So we will we'll get this tacked in there. Oh, I just moved the shit out of that thing, but it's okay, it made it. like that. Now we gotta figure out the best way to weld this, but we're gonna have to clean this whole diff up a lot. It looks pretty good. Alright, well, I'm as ready as I can be, I guess. So, tack this in place to welding. Alright, we'll just take our time welding this and just start jumping around, really. Well, it's not the best work, but it's honest work, so that's what counts. Alright, now I gotta probably weld up this inside stuff and then put the other ones in there so that I can reach. Yeah, I'll weld these up first so I can reach most of it, and then put the other ones in there, and those will be kind of hard to reach, but we'll get it welded. Alright, we're gonna weld the inside of this out and then we'll do the rest. Doing that in shorts sucks. I put this in the vise and actually bent it because it was kind of coming off, so that should help us out welding that. I didn't think I was going to be able to bend it, but it looks pretty professional. Alright, let's weld it up. We gotta switch wires, and then we'll weld this and weld that. 309 on the cast iron stuff. Alright, we'll weld this out with flux core 309, and then we can start putting the rest up. Okay, we got the top mount made. That thing doesn't look the best, but whatever. Maybe we'll change that later on. I'm going to get these mounts at least tacked up. Probably weld my back pieces to it fully out like that. Same with that one. And then I want to get them tacked on the axle, so all those mounts are done. We gotta get this mount tacked up in place, and I still have to make the top mount. I already cut these up, but I'll show you. I just had these left over from a Jeep Wrangler that I 4-linked, and it was rusty, so I ended up just trashing it, but I kept these off of it. And so I just gotta make them the other two shorter. I already made these two shorter. But yeah. Alright, let's weld these up first. And then we'll work on the rest. And I just put these in there, put some washes in there to keep the width out a little bit. Alright, we made these shorter, we'll fit them up. These are about the length that they need to be. Now we gotta make these mounts. They look ugly as hell right now. Hopefully it won't be so ugly by the time we're done. Oops. Made our cardboard cutouts. We're gonna cut some metal out to fit like that. Put a backing plate on here and cover it up a little bit. Alright, I already got interrupted. We'll make these, then we'll box this whole thing in up here. We also make one for this down here and a little guy for over here, just to make it look okay. I don't like how these look already, but this is the way I gotta do it, so yeah. I almost forgot, I welded these up last night. The GoPro died, so, but it was just me welding these up. So both of these are welded up, ready to go on. Try and mount those tomorrow or something. Should do a little more trimming on that guy. Looks pretty good. Something like that. Obviously it would have been better to make this all one mount, but I don't have a drill press here, so it's kind of hard to make all this at home. I have to do it secretly at work. I'll just tack these for now, and then we'll make a backing plate. And we'll end up like grooving that all out and getting, you know, a good weld in there. This is just for mock-up purposes. All right, let's tack that, and then we'll go from there. that. Alright. I need to make one that's exactly like this, because the angles are different, which means you'd have to bend this to actually fit. So we'll make a second one that's like that, so they match. That's not hard. Alright, I'm gonna cut one more. Alright, let's break this off. It's easy. Alright, look at that. There we go. There you go. See? Look at that. CAD. Cardboard aided design. Look at that shit. That's perfect. Alright. We're just gonna have to continue this tomorrow. Alright. After multiple days of messing around with this suspension, I think I got it where I like it. It's kind of a different design than I originally planned. Here it is. I went with this on the outside and straight. We were going to do like a kind of double triangulated where, you know, it goes on the inside and it comes out, but it just wasn't going to work. So this way is a little easier for me, and the tools I have here. But I'm gonna redo this whole thing basically on the other side, use the same links. This isn't all finished, this is just to be tacked up, and then we're gonna try it out and see what we think of it. But yeah, we'll get the other side tacked up, everything cut, and yeah, all right, let's go. All right, I'm gonna start with welding where these links are gonna go on this chassis, because I don't want to have to take them back off and weld the box in. So we'll weld a little section here, tack it really good on the bottom, and then we'll go to cutting these and these. 17. This whole thing needs to be measured, needs to be welded. That's where that top mount is going to go. So just want to make sure that whole thing is welded before we mock our top mount up, so it don't have to come back and weld it back up. let this cool a little bit, and then we'll go cut some metal. Alright, cut these top brackets here. Send cut send, this shit's awesome. It's just a little expensive. I should have done this for all my brackets, then I wouldn't have to be cutting and doing all that stuff. Some stickers, some candy, and awesome looking parts. Now I'm not a CAD professional, so I don't exactly know how to make these parts bend on CAD, and they will bend them for you, but I'm just gonna cut them and weld them. So alright, I gotta clean this area up because I know I'm gonna be welding there, so. Let's get these tacked together. Oh, look at that. Perfect. So, I haven't showed you guys how I cut those down and made those yet. I'll show you after I get this side tacked up. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that same side and bring it over here, so that way it should be the same length. So take apart that side and bring it over to this side. Gotcha. All right. Make sure we're in the same spot. I'm just gonna measure from 1 foot. Perfect. Twenty-two inches. 22 inches. I'm not even gonna touch that. That's like perfect. Later on in the video, I'll show you what I got drawn up on CAD It gives all these angles basically and all the lengths you need. All the CAD drawings for this truck will be on Onshape. It's free online. All the documents I have are on there under Chris Gruntz. So if you want to build this, something like this, you can just go on Onshape and type in my name or the name of the file. I'll show you that later, and all of it will be on there. It'll give you this basically the same setup. So we're gonna tack this in place because I'm happy with that. The lengths are the same. So let's tack it. So basically what I did for this side is the axle centered between the chassis. I wanted it 1.5 inches. I wanted the bar 1.5 inches from the frame rail, so I just got a piece of wood, stuck it in here, and then tacked this side up with this in there. We're gonna put this lower control arm mount on the other side. I located this one by getting the outside of the frame rail length compared to like the inside of the tube diff mount, or where the tube goes into the diff. So that length is 8 3/4 from the tube to the diff to the outside of the frame rail. I used a block of wood to put between here. It gives me 1.5 inches. So 8.75 plus 1.5 equals 10 1/4. This mount is 2.5 inches, I think. Yeah, 2.5 inches wide. So divide that by 2, that'll give you your center line. So 1.25 inches, so plus 1.25. So 11.5 inches. You see over here, you guys probably can't see it, but the center of that little mark right there, 11.5 inches, pretty much. And then I used an angle finder to get 82.6 about. So we'll do that on the other side. We'll mark our center. We'll mark our center lines, and then we'll get our angle and just tack it the same as this side, 82.5. Everything that I have basically on here is in the CAD file. So if you want to look that up, you can get most of the information from there. If not, just follow along, I guess. I don't have all the measurements, but I got most of them. Alright, we marked the center line. Let's mark it with a marker so we can see it better. There we go. Then we'll go mark the center line for the mount on the other side and bring this tube over there. I like to use one of these scribe just to get a nice indentation in the metal. We are at 82.8. All right, we came up with 82.7. So close enough. I'm sure when we weld it, it'll not be that angle anyways, so. on the middle hole here. I'm going to tack this first and then measure it second because I didn't measure it first. So we can always grind the tacks off later. So kind of have to twist that mount a little bit, but we can do that later. Let's make sure we got the same length here. 21 3/4. Hold on here. Alright, see, something's off here. Got 21.5 over here. Oh, there we go. Yeah. 21.5 and 21.5. One thing I haven't done yet is tacked these in place, so I'm gonna go ahead and tack them and make sure I can get the mount in all the holes. Alright. Now unfortunately, I need to break this mount off because I forgot to weld that before, so we'll do that and then we'll tack it back in place. Let's mark this so we know exactly where it goes. I'm gonna weld the corners of this while we're here. Let's tack this back in place. Gotta grind this off a little bit. Alright, I can't stress enough on how many times I have measured that center, the axle center line, how many times I've taken these measurements. Now, I used the same links on each side, so it should be the same. But I'm getting a different measurement when I measure from this point to the axle. But if I take my measuring tape and measure from the axle to about the center line of this, I get 23.25 and 23.25 on there, which is obviously true. I think what happened is when I welded these up, I shifted them maybe like not even 1/4 of an inch. But like just enough to piss me off. 1/8 of an inch. So I'm kind of trying to be a perfectionist here, and it's obviously not working the best, but I just want it to be right. So trust me, off camera, I've taken like 100 measurements multiple times. So when you're doing this by yourself, just take a lot of measurements, write the shit down, make sure you are where you need to be before you go tacking. I mean, you can always cut a tack off, but before you start welding the whole thing, I get the fucking level. Just make sure you're where you need to be. Okay. Fucking level. Level everywhere. All right. I like where we're at. Now what we're going to do is we're going to cut the other tubes to get them to be the same length as these tubes. Which it's about 8 o'clock here, and I'm probably going to really piss my neighbors off because my saw is super loud. But we'll see what happens. Alright, remember these are from my old Jeep. But we're gonna unfortunately have to do this in my garage to minimize pissing off the neighbors. I hate grinding in here, but it is what it is. So these were a lot longer on my Jeep. Beautiful welds though. So I'm gonna cut it and then we'll shorten it. Same with that one. And tack it all up. There you go. Same thing with this one. Alright, do the same thing I did on the other one. And the short one is, short one is 16 3/4. That's just tube length. That's not the whole length of it. And this one, the long one, is 18 1/2. Now we're gonna chop it with the saw and be sure to piss off all the neighbors. So let's go do that. Okay, my GoPro died, and so I just decided to take a break and charged it. So we're gonna get these things tacked together. This is exactly where we left off yesterday. Alright, now we can get them set up, I guess. Take those ones out, get them set up to the same length. I don't have the same ends, because I only bought 4 because I'm being cheap. But we'll still get them set up so they're the same length. Alright, those are the same length. Go. All right. All right. Let's get the other links on. These bubbles. I had to move this diff a little bit because I wasn't centered, so that's why this one doesn't mock up anymore. Here it is. So I have to go in and final weld all this stuff. We'll do that in a little bit. But I think it looks pretty cool. Alright, we got this suspension all tacked up pretty well. Bolts slid through, they're not tightened down or anything. But now we just want to cycle it through and see what it looks like. Make sure it's doing suspension things since it's not really binding. Yeah. I'll have to cut this out of here, or yeah, probably have to cut that out of there. We don't need that one, we'll just use the back one. Go. Let's cut this out real quick and see how far up it will go and what it does. Hell yeah. Alright, well, we gotta make some plates for this and the top part of this. And, sorry, for this and the front of this guy, just to make it look good. And weld it all up, really. And weld all these back up. And that's about it. So, I can't make those plates tomorrow. It's kind of too late out. I don't want to wake up all my neighbors. So, probably get these all tacked up nicely and go from there. All right.